Welcome back to the 24/7 Sports Channel. I am Travis Branham, a national recruiting analyst here at 24/7 Sports, and there's still a handful of prospects available in the 2025 class, and we are going to be having one of those four-star recruits joining us here shortly to reveal his college decision, and that is Joshua Lewis, a 6'7" wing out of Blake High School in Tampa, Florida. Ranks as the number 68 overall recruit in the new and refreshed, updated 24/7 Sports rankings. He has been one of the players we have keeping a very close eye on for the last few months. We saw him extensively with his Florida Rebels AAU program, playing with a very talented team where he flashed tons of talent and potential. And watching his high school film this season, it's very clear he has continued to mature, fill out his frame, and evolve as an athlete, but also expand and polish his offensive skill set. This is going to be a versatile two-way wing with plenty of untapped potential still left in the tank, and he is going to make for a big splash for one program. He was formerly committed to South Florida, but following the tragic passing of head coach Amir Abdur-Rahim, Joshua Lewis reopened his recruitment, and since then he has heard from several high major programs around the country and has most recently taken an official visit to the Iowa Hawkeyes. So where will Joshua Lewis be headed? Let's bring him in and talk to him and find out. So Joshua, welcome to the show, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely. I know this has not been the recruitment process you envision, and frankly, no kid possibly could ever envision kind of the experience that you have. But looking back through your whole recruiting process, what are some of the lessons you've learned and takeaways that you're able to take forward to this next step in your journey?
Yeah, first and foremost, I just want to thank God for even giving me this opportunity to have all these schools reach out to me. After everything that happened with Amir, it was a tragic situation. It really took a toll on me, but I feel like it's just helped me mature as a person and gave me even more motivation to become great in the long run. So I feel like God works in mysterious ways and everything happens for a reason. So I'm just super excited.
Well, since you reopened your recruitment, you've had some great opportunities come along and come your way. Looking back through some of these schools, what were some of the things you were looking for in a future college program?
Two of my biggest things I look for is player development and just a genuine feeling from the coaching staff and all the players. My family and me are big on relationships. I want to be around the right people because, basketball is important, but it's also about fitting in with the right people, developing as a man also. So definitely that aspect of it was big for me.
Well, people heard from me about what I think about you as a player, but in your own eyes, assess and describe your game.
I feel like I'm a long, athletic wing guard that can really do everything: pass, dribble, shoot, defend at a high level, rebound the ball, block shots too. I feel like I can do everything on the floor at a high level.
Joshua, the moment is almost here, but I know there's a lot of people that have helped you along this journey that you'd like to take some time to thank. So take as much time as you need.
Yeah, man. So many people have helped me along the journey. I can't even remember all the names, but first off, I just want to thank God, thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, thank my parents, my family that have been with me through everything, through the ups and downs, all the coaches I've had through the years, man, that have poured into me, all the OGs, the unks that I had that have poured into me, so many people I could thank, man. I just don't have the time right here, but I'm really, truly thankful to anybody that's helped me along the way, man. You guys don't know how much it means to me. I really appreciate all of y'all. But, I think it's time to let y'all know where I'm going to be going to school, man. I'm going to be taking my talents to Iowa City. Yeah!
Joshua, that is undoubtedly one of the best celebrations I have ever seen on this show. Why did you pick Iowa, man?
Just going on my visit again to meet everybody. I just got a great feeling from everybody, all the players, all the coaching staff. Seems like some genuine people, and the culture they have over there is real genuine. They got a real culture over there, a real good fan base. From what I saw, and their play style, love their play style. I feel like I would fit in great with just the way they play and the great group of guys that they have. So I'm just super excited, man.
One of the things you mentioned that you're looking for is player development in a future program. And again, you're one of those players that I look at, and I think you have a ton of potential that you can continue to grow and evolve as a player and really be a highly, highly impactful player in college. What was their vision and kind of plan for you in that player development department?
Yeah, most of the conversations I have with the coaching staff is just about as soon as I get there, how we going to be in the gym. I'm going to be getting better. And that's what I love to do. I love to get in the gym and work hard. So super excited.
I know Iowa fans are very excited. They're going to be pulling up your highlight reels and trying to learn more and more about you. But you got them right here. Tell them, what will you be bringing to that Iowa program?
Man, I'm going to be bringing a lot of energy. You know, I love to win. I'm going to be trying to win, put my heart and soul into this. Man, that's what y'all going to be getting from me. For real. I'm super excited to come over there and impact winning.
Awesome. Joshua, thanks again, man. Congratulations for all the success you've had in your high school career. And we are very anxious to watch your career continue to unfold. Best of luck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I really appreciate you. Thank you for having me, too. I appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. Joshua Lewis, the number 68 overall recruit in the refreshed 2025 24/7 Sports Rankings, is off the board to play for Fran McCaffery and the Iowa Hawkeyes. So for more on this commitment and what this means for the Iowa program, there's nobody better to bring in than our Iowa 24/7 Sports insider, Sean Bach. Sean, you saw it. You saw the excitement. What does this mean for the Iowa program?
Yeah, that was one of the more interesting, Iowa announcement that I've seen. I've never really heard a Hawkeye say cacaw, but yeah, this was a really good late coup for Iowa in this cycle. I mean, this class wasn't really looking too positive to start in the fall. I mean, Iowa missed out on a number of top prospects, number of guys that went to other programs, and to get Lewis, I mean, obviously the circumstances with him were not ideal with, the passing of the former UCF head or USF head coach. And, it's a really good get for them late in this class because Lewis is the type of guy that can potentially come in and make an early impact on the wing. Like you said, Travis, he's a two-way guy, two-way wing, brings a certain aspect with his offense and defense, and just a really nice fit overall for this staff. And, like you said, I mean, this program really preaches player development, and that's something that, Lewis has that great start kid and can eventually, be that impact guy, not just in his freshman year, but just continue to go up and up the ladder for the Hawkeyes.
He's one of those kids. We're going through these updated rankings meetings over the past few weeks. And when we're sitting here talking about him, like, we got him ranked number 68 overall, but it's like one of those kids we keep saying to each other, like, this kid could really make us look bad at the end of the day with where we currently have him ranked. And so we're really excited about his potential. But this Iowa program, this Iowa system. How do you see him kind of coming in and fitting into that program next year?
Yeah, I mean, they need more athletes on the wing. I think that's one of the things that they were really looking for in this class, and they weren't able to hit on a couple of guys or some guys that, maybe didn't move the needle for them. But, Lewis was a guy that they really liked, and obviously the circumstances were unfortunate, but, they were able to get him late in this class and, be able to form that relationship with him. And Tristan Spurlock, I mean, the Iowa assistant coach, one of the newer assistants on this staff, did a really great job of getting in there and, making Lewis a big priority in this cycle and in this class and, getting him in the fold. And yeah, I mean, I think right away, obviously his athleticism is going to be a big boost for this team. You lose Peyton Sanford after this year. I don't know if Lewis is your, day one starter at that 3 spot, but I definitely think there is, conversation for him to potentially, see big minutes early in his career. His offensive game is still kind of coming along from a shooting standpoint, what he can add on the perimeter. But man, when he, wants to get to the basket, when he, wants to really get into the lane and drive to the hoop, like, he's tough to stop in that regard. And, he also brings you something on the defensive end too. I think that's something that Iowa has really, kind of struggled with the last couple of years is, obviously the defense has been an issue. It's an issue this year. And I think, Lewis kind of brings you that two-way guy who, can really defend multiple positions on the defensive end and, potentially, switch on different guards and, even guard bigger if you have to with him. And, I think one thing that really stood out to me too was watching him, kind of, react to the game that he was at a few weeks ago when Iowa took on Indiana. He was smiling and, clapping like crazy because Iowa was just flying up and down the court. And I think that's one area where I can really see him thrive in Iowa City is playing in transition on the wing, getting those outlet passes and, really letting himself work in the open space and the open court. Once he really gets comfortable in that system and, adds on more weight and kind of adds more to his offensive game, like, there's just a certain level that he can get to that, Iowa has had really good success with that position in recent years. I mean, you look at the Murray twins and what they're doing in the NBA now. And, I think Lewis is not as, molded offensively as those guys, but I think, from an athletic standpoint, he definitely brings it. And I think there's a lot to work with there. And, player development with him in this program is so important. And, I think it's really a nice fit both ways.
No question. When I was watching that film most recently, he's one of those kids. Again, he's always had the tools, always been a very fluid mover out on the court. But watching the most recent film and just how he's continued to get stronger, the athleticism continues to evolve. And his first step was really impressive from what I saw. So I think from an athletic standpoint, he is absolutely going to make a difference for that team. But from a bigger picture, he's now their third high school commit in this 2025 class, joining Badara Diakite and also Desmond Briscoe. But they also added Miami transfer Isaiah Johnson-Origu. So looking at this four-man class, what is this forecast and outlook for this Iowa program with this group of guys coming in?
Yeah, I mean, Lewis, you look at him, and I think he's the more, surefire kind of instant impact guy. Like I said, not necessarily a star, but I think that arrow just continues to point up and up. And, as he kind of gets the hang of things, it's going to be, really exciting to watch him develop and what he can add to this program, to this system where it kind of just feels like a really natural and perfect fit. And with Diakite and Briscoe, I mean, Diakite is more of a long-term type of guy and kind of that, fits the mold of kind of that developmental center type and, maybe a big four. It kind of depends on where they see him. His offensive game is growing. He's got the measurables. He's got the length. Improving athleticism just needs to improve that feel a little bit more and get more comfortable. But, like I said, this is a program that really relies on player development. And, Diakite is one of those guys that I think the Iowa staff feels like they can really mold into a really solid prospect down the line. And they've done it before at that position. And with Briscoe, I think he's probably has one of the higher floors in this class. I mean, was a guy that Iowa was in on in the summer, then kind of backed off a little bit, then came on again. And, he brings rebounding ability and ability to play around the basket, play around the paint, physical. He's a guy that has a really good feel for the game, one of the better ones, I think, in the Midwest and one of the better targets that Iowa has. And, really kind of more of, these kind of forwards that Iowa has recruited, he probably has the better feel than, Iowa's landed in the last couple of cycles coming out of high school. And I think that's really going to benefit him. Played for a really good AAU program in Indiana Elite, really just thrived in his role. And I think that's something that, Iowa really needs at that four spot. He's a little bit different from what Iowa currently has in the program there. He's not much of a perimeter threat. He's got a mid-range game if he wants it, if he can use it, if he can develop it. But he's a really good rebounder, really good defensive presence, and, a guy that, is not necessarily going to be, like I said, an instant impact guy, but, you need more guys on the post. And one of the reasons that, Iowa struggled this season, the last couple of seasons, has been rebounding. And you see more and more of these types of guys that Iowa's bringing in that, part of their main strengths or primary strengths is rebounding and playing physical around the basket, just having, solid feel around that paint. And I think that's what Briscoe is going to really bring. And yeah, I mean, Johnson-Origu too, you mentioned him, obviously has some experience this past season at Miami, limited role, but, the Iowa staff was super high on him coming out of high school. Iowa actually finished second in his recruitment to Miami, Florida, coming out of high school. And it was one that you kind of look at and you're like, I don't really see the great fit in Miami, but at Iowa, you can kind of see and be like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. And, he's a guy who can play on the ball, off the ball, really good defender, kind of more of a small ball four right now, I would say, could potentially be a bigger wing But what he's going to bring to you is just kind of that defensive versatility. And, like I said, in the offensive end, can play on the ball, can play off the ball. More of a comfortable, like in mid-range in right now with his game, not necessarily a big three-point threat, but is a willing three-point shooter, has a perimeter game to him. So they're adding a bunch of really good athletes, I think, on at these, 3, 4, 5 positions. You could potentially maybe see Lewis playing the 2, but I think he's more comfortable at the 3. But then again, this is Fran McCaffery and Iowa basketball. They rely on versatility, rely on positionless play, and that's kind of what they're getting in some of these guys that they're bringing in this class, especially with Lewis and Johnson Arrigo.
Well, Sean, this Iowa staff has been putting in a lot of hard work, and they're clearly addressing some of these concerns and issues that they've seen. And I think we're going to be seeing a different Iowa team in the years ahead. And so, Sean, thanks again so much for joining us and sharing your insight with us. For all the Iowa fans, if you're not already a subscriber of Hawkeye Insider, I can't recommend Sean Bach and what they do over there enough. They are on top of absolutely everything with football and basketball related. So for more on what this means, I would recommend heading over to 247sports.com, where we have more news and analysis on Joshua Lewis's commitment. And there will be many more recruits to join us to reveal their college decision in the months ahead, especially after we wind down with this 2025 class. So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys soon.